Welcome to another episode of So It's Not Just Me. I'm your host, Joanna, and today Katie's back. You may have seen, you may not have, she's done a couple of episodes with me now. So this one, we're going to talk about, again, something that isn't spoke about very often, and I think it's super important. So, Katie, let us know why you're here.
Yes, thanks for having me again. So I am here to kind of chat about working mom life. I think that it's something that it's a 50-50 in today's day and age. Some people say, stay-at-home moms have it the best, and that's like what you should be doing for your kid. And then some people, like to work. And I happen to just be one of those people that likes to work. But I do, have some pluses and negatives to it. So definitely want to kind of share a little bit about the experience that I've had.
Thank you. So, you have two kids now,
Yes, I do. Mhm.
and they're both at school, and you're at full time, well,
Yes.
at daycare, and you're at full time work, and
Yeah,
Anthony works full time too.
he does. Yes.
Okay. So how does that look like your day? How does your guys' day look?
Yeah, so our day, so we both kind of course, getting up early with the kids, and then they're both going to a local daycare that's actually right by our house, which is great. So we take them both to school. I normally will drop them off in the morning, since I'm the one that's leaving earlier. I do have like a 45-minute commute to work, so I drop them off and then I head to work, and then my husband will go to work about an hour later, and then he gets out an hour before I do, so he picks them up on the way home. And then my commute home is almost usually always worse, like an hour and a half or so. So he'll always get them, and then I can come home, and then we all kind of like sit down, have dinner together, have Riley will have her last bottle and whatnot. Just kind of have those last 2 hours before bed. So it kind of is like a crammed session of just like, how was your day? How's your day? Just kind of hanging out, spending time together as much as we can. But it's definitely a full packed day.
When did you first feel any sort of mum guilt, like wanting to go back to? Because, like you say, you have a career, you have a really good job, and some people want to go back to work, some people don't. When did you get that feeling of? Wait, okay, let me rephrase that. Is your is your guilt more because you go back to work and you enjoy it, or because you're leaving the kids?
It's a little bit of both, honestly.
Okay.
I love working. I've worked since I was 14. I've always had a job and, felt like that need to, bring in money and be able to support myself and now of course support my family. And I have a drive for it. And I love, being around people. So coming to work is also a good mental break for me. So it's a way for me to separate, I'm not momming right now, I'm not wifing, I'm not cleaning the house, I am doing my job and I'm good at it. So I'm going to, put all my energy towards it. And it just kind of, I don't know, I never expected to feel this way, but like to come back to work and just everything else, like money problems, house problems, kids, like all that kind of stress is behind me. And I'm just here, talking to my coworkers and having like that, social interaction that I'm lacking, when I'm just at home with the kids. Of course, I love them to death and spending time with them, but like I think it's very important to have that balance. And I think that just the way that I am, need to have something to do and something to
Yeah.
work towards and have, goals met and reached and something to be proud of. That's, of course, I'm proud to be a mom and everything that I do. That is the hardest job in the world. But my other job is also to me very important, and just having that to kind of strive for. It's kind of how I get through.
Before we started recording, we was chatting earlier this morning, and I said something that I don't think I should have said. I think some people may have can take offense by it. I don't know if you remember me saying this, but I was like, I don't know how you do it. And I think sometimes when people say, and I didn't mean it in an offensive way, I just want to hold those babies forever. And I think that's the kind of mum I'll be, is that I just want to hold that baby forever. And I didn't mean it in like an offensive way. But when people do say things like that, does it kind of, grab at you, and you think, oh, should I be doing this? Should I, you know, do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely have that little bits here and there. Like it's always in the back of my head. Like, why am I doing this? Like, why, well, if I had the chance to be at home with my kids all the time, why would I not want that? You know, like,
Yeah,
why shouldn't I be the only person that they're interacting with and seeing, throughout the day, not strangers at a daycare, taking care of them? So definitely like hits me, like it'll hit me randomly too. Like it just, I could be doing so, so well and loving everything I'm doing at work, but then in the back of my head, I'm like, they're at school right now doing something and like I'm missing out on whatever they're doing.
yeah,
So it is definitely a struggle still. But honestly, I think that we have such a good balance at this point that it doesn't get to me as much as it used to. Because the first time around, having just one kid, having my son Bennett, when he was in school first, it hit me way harder because that's when I just got the job here and I started my like true career as like a manager role, like here with him, putting him in daycare and then me starting at the same time here. And it was just a lot of change at once. And I was struggling a lot then. And it was just like, why am I doing this? But we have bills to pay and,
yeah,
can't survive here without it. And for where we're living in our circumstances, it does not balance out to where staying at home would benefit us better. We both have to work. It's just kind of how it laid out, and we both like to work. So we're both working parents, and it's good for both of us mentally. So I just kind of had to, push that aside. And then once the second baby came around, it was easier this time around for sure. I mean, definitely hard because, as I mentioned before, like she can barely hold her head up, but I'm passing her along to strangers while I can go work. So
yeah,
it was very, very hard the first week. I was kind of a mess here. But after that, I get pictures all day. They send me pictures. They love them so, so much. The daycare is amazing with them. So if it were, any less than that, maybe it would be, a lot worse, but they have it really, really nice where they're at. And I appreciate them and taking care of them. So obviously trust them. So it makes it
yeah.
easier.
I think it's a little bit different. Again, was discussing this before before we was recording. The maternity leave over here is like 12 weeks if you're lucky. Back in the UK, it's 12 months. Um, so I think this question, I don't know if this is going to be really applicable at all, but did you ever feel judged by others or like friends, family, or anyone with your choice to go back to work?
Yeah, for sure. I've had a couple of like specific interactions that stick with me a lot. And someone once told me that like my purpose and my only purpose should be momming. That I should be a mom, and that's why I'm here. And why would you go to work when you have a husband that's supposed to be doing that? And that hurt me a lot because I don't believe in that personally. I don't believe that the men should just be, the breadwinners and just go to work and work to the down to every single minute of the day and come home and expect a meal on the table and the kids to be changed, fed, and happy. I think that it's a balance. And, I think that's a little dated, a dated,
Yes.
opinion. There's a lot of working moms out there. So it's just, you got to do what you got to do. And some people, make the choice to work for them. And I'm one of those people. I chose to keep a job because mentally it's good for me and it works for us and we can handle, the balance of it. Um, so yeah, I definitely have had some things here and there where I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to, take that with a grain of salt. I'm not really going to, think too much on it, but there's, of course, things still stick with me and it loads in there with all the mom guilt in the back of my head, kind of
Yeah.
lumps in there. So
Do you think there's more pressure on mums than dads to go back to work and get back into what they were doing before, or more pressure to stay at home with the kids? Like you say, it's very old fashioned, really, for the dad to be out working and the mum to be at home. But do you think that society still puts a lot of pressure on parents to go to those gender
yeah,
specific roles?
yeah, 1000%. I definitely feel like moms are just, because you're vulnerable at this point. Like, it's just like you grew a whole human and now the baby is here and you're just gonna, like, you got to go back to it. You got to get back into a routine and just start doing life again. Like, you're not
Yeah,
just, there with your happy pregnant bubble. It's like you got to do it and you got to make things work and you got to be able to provide for that baby, provide for your family. And I think that moms alone, like, are just like, okay, physically, I just went through all of that. Mentally, I'm still going through all of that. And now, how am I going to make the money to support it? Because I don't want to just make my husband go and work and do all that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
he shouldn't be so exhausted to where he can't come home and enjoy and spend time with us too. So that was another part for me. Is like, I didn't want Anthony to have to find another job, like multiple jobs. Like, that's just not in the cards for us. Like, I want
No.
us to have the time together. So the balance is, it worked out in our favor, and it's just it was what works for us. But yeah, I think there's definitely a lot more pressure on women, and moms. Granted, of course, there's a lot on dads too, because some dads, Anthony said, he's like, I would definitely be a stay-at-home dad. Like, he
Yeah.
and I are different in that. Like, if we could flip, I would work all the time and he would stay home. But it's just not in the cards. Like, I don't have a good enough paying job yet, but maybe one day, he'd be happy to stay home and, make brewing a hobby, like something on
Yeah.
the side, because he
Yeah.
does what he loves, and he gets paid for it, but he could also do it as a craft on the side if he had to. Um, so yeah, I definitely think there's a lot more to, the women in the situation, because of all the other things, because of the physical and mental that you're already dealing with to create this family.
Yes. Yeah. Do you think social media plays a huge part in that as well? Like I see all these influencers that are living these jet set lifestyles or whatever, and they're still home with their kids. And
Right. Yeah, definitely. It's like a like And I think it was like a trend this year or last year maybe, that it was just like, the moms would send a text to the dad and just be like, how many likes or views do I have to get to be a stay-at-home mom? Like, for me to quit my job and let me stay home, and like they say like 500,000 or whatever. And then they get it, and then like they're just like staying home. And it's just like, I wish it was that easy, you
yeah,
know?
it's
Um,
definitely not easy.
yeah, it's not easy. So yeah, I mean, it all comes down to, unfortunately, like finances and well-being. Like, you got to make sure you can provide and support, and if you can't do it with just one parent, then there's got to find ways. And for us, it's just to keep two jobs, between the two of us, not for both one of us to overwork and the other not,
Yeah.
because the parent staying home, that is a huge job. The days alone that I have the kids by myself, I am exhausted. Like, I'm dead to the world by 7 p.m. Like, it is a lot to deal with on your own. So, like, praise all of the women that are stay-at-home moms full time. Like, you are godsends. I couldn't do it, and
No.
for my mental health, I couldn't do it. But I know there's a lot of people that can, and I am jealous that they can. But I also am grateful for the opportunities that I have.
What do you think is misunderstood about working mums?
I think a lot of people just think that, they're either money hungry or they don't care enough about their kids. And that is just so far beyond what the truth actually is. I think that it's just, they make it seem like, laziness too. Like, oh, I'm going to let someone else take care of my kids for me while I go and do whatever I want.
Yeah.
When it's, obviously there's a lot that comes behind this choice to work. It's not all just because I want to. There's a lot of need to it, and it's necessary. And I just think people just kind of take it the wrong way. And some of those people too, like, that still have that older mindset where it's just like, you should be at home with your kids. If you're gonna get pregnant and do this and plan to have a family, you need to be the one to
Yeah.
take care of them. Why
Yeah.
would you give them off to somebody else?
Do you think your perception of what makes a good mum has changed over time?
Yeah, definitely. I just yeah, there's the presence alone, like, physically and mentally, just like being there for your kids for those, milestone moments and all those things. I definitely think that when I was first pregnant, I was just like, okay, I have to be, the best mom. I'm gonna be there all the time. Like, when I was pregnant with Bennett, I was working a fully remote job at home, and I never had to really do much. So I said, like, I'm gonna be so involved and so present. Like, I'm pretty much gonna be like a stay-at-home mom. Like, my job was very lax, and I didn't have to worry about a lot. And then when I realized that I had a better opportunity to go back to doing what I loved before I got pregnant, I was like, wait a second, like, there could still be some growth for me here, and like, I can find myself again, because now I'm just, I was trying to fully, just soak in all the momness, which is great. Of course, I'd love to do that, but um yeah, it's just there's a lot that kind of comes with it. But um yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought, but
No,
that's
you're fine.
it.
How do you manage like the emotional, um, kind of like, like the push and pullers, I guess, of being a work having a career and having parenting duties? Like, if Bennett's crying because he doesn't want you to go to school, go to work, and you know you've got a deadline or whatnot. How do you manage that emotionally?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely hard. The days where we kind of like shift off, like today, like I'm working and Anthony's home with the kids, and like I have to say goodbye in the morning and give hugs. And it was definitely harder in the beginning when he was younger and he didn't really understand why I was leaving.
Right.
And Riley's young enough now to not even realize that I'm gone sometimes. So it's definitely easy right now. I think it'll get a little bit harder as she gets older too. Just realizing like that I'm not there all the time. But just kind of honestly, we're pretty like we just communicate openly with Bennett. He's kind of a I don't like to brag, but he's a little genius. Like he has full on conversations with us, so he
Uh-huh.
knows he's fully aware of everything. So in the morning, if he sees me getting ready in the bathroom doing my makeup, he's you going to work, Mama? Okay, I'll go get you. I'll go get you your water, or I'll go get you this. Like he tries to like help me. Like he knows the routine.
Right.
And he like walks me out the door and he always blows me a kiss and waves me goodbye. And like he knows the drill and that just of course makes it, softens the blow. Like I was like, of course I want to be here all day with you. But I gotta go do some stuff, but I'll be home later. Like when you wake up from your nap, we can hang out and like we kind of trade shifts and then Anthony will go to work or something like that. So definitely having the balance of Anthony's schedule too is nice. We're always able to flip flop, and then we always have. Usually today's a different day, but usually Sundays is our day entirely for family. Like he will always have Sundays off, and I usually do too. So yeah, just the
What would
balance.
you what would you say to a mum who's about to return back to work and is feeling the guilt?
Um, yeah, I would just say like you got this. It's gonna be hard in the beginning. You're gonna be thinking about those babies all the time and they're but just hopefully trust in that they're okay, they're being cared for and that, it's okay for you to do this and for you to, take that step to help provide for your family and provide for yourself. And if you're doing it for your mental health, good for you. Like you
Yeah.
need this you know, postpartum, especially if you're coming back from maternity leave, like you've got a lot of emotions moving around in there. And it's a good kind of outlet for you to just kind of work and do something for yourself, even though it feels like the worst thing in the world. It does get better day by day.
I know that you're the kind of person who you and Anthony like to go away and have trips and explore and have little adventures. Have you ever felt that you can do you still do that now? I know you did it with Bennett and you left Bennett with family, and I'm assuming it was with family. Have you done it yet since you've had Riley?
Not yet, but we do have a trip coming up. It was supposed to be 2 nights, but now it's going to be one night. So I was kind of freaking out about that. But we have not done it with her just because she doesn't know how to sleep yet. So I was like worried about leaving her with someone. Our both sets of grandparents are older, so I worry about them like having to get up every couple of hours.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
definitely harder this time around. But yeah, it took me a while with Bennett. We didn't do that until he was about like I don't know, maybe 6 or so months old, and Riley's about 4 months now. So we're getting there.
Plant that seeds for the grandparents to know in a couple of months,
Right.
just so you're aware. So you obviously go to work in the day, come home at night, look after the kids. I'm very, very strict. I know that I don't have kids, but I am strict with 5 o'clock. That's it. I do not work anymore. I am not working. I won't answer my phone to work. I won't answer. I check emails and I really shouldn't, but I'm getting better at not doing that because I'm very now, this is our time. Do you have boundaries like that in place? I know your job's a little bit different and you have to sometimes be in communication with clients and things, but do you have boundaries that you've put in place to make sure you have that time with the kids?
Yeah, definitely. I'm pretty strict myself too. I mean, for a while I wasn't, and I would like kind of take work home with me when I shouldn't. And having my email on my phone is not the best idea. But like you said, like I do have sometimes where I need to be like reachable for clients or even like my hotel. Like if they need anything from me, they know they can text me if something's going on. But um, the role that I've kind of shifted into the last it's almost been a year now in this role where I'm just doing more so just the sales side of things. I'm not so involved with clients directly. Once I've like passed along, once I book it, then I don't have to deal with that. So it's been a huge benefit for me and my family and our family time to kind of do that and make that transition. So I definitely like I'm appreciative of that. But I will shut down, and even like I talk to my boss talks to me about it all the time, like how we, take your days off that are your days off. And she knows she doesn't have to worry about that with me because I never sign in on my day off. Like if it's a day off, I am not there. Like,
Yeah.
and a lot of people in this, industry don't do that. Like there's it's a people talk about it all the time, like, oh, you're not actually off, like you're working, or like I saw you on Teams today when you're off today. Like that's not me. Like I am off when I'm off because I'm off because I'm with my kids, or I'm off because it's a day for me without kids even.
Yeah.
Like just having one full day to myself is a rare occasion, but it is, it does happen. And then if it's not, then it's with one or both of my kids, then great. But yeah, off means off now. So I'm definitely handling that better. I didn't used to be like that, but
I think, and again, I know that we don't have kids yet, but we're very much creating those same boundaries. If we're off, we're off. Kyle's a little bit different. He's on call 24/7 right now for what he does. But if we're officially off, we are off. We're not answering those phones, and we are taking that time. And I think that's something everyone needs to do, not just parents. Like
right.
everyone needs to look after themselves because you're just going to burn out before you're 50. So
Right, yeah, we're
nobody
not
wants
made
that.
to work. Like, that's not what we're here for.
No.
Yeah, you gotta live your life.
If there was one thing that you wish more mums would say out loud about mum guilt or going back to work or having that me time, what do you think it should be?
Um, just that, like, I'm enjoying this. Like, just embrace it. Like, say, yes, like, I get time to myself and I don't feel bad about it. I think that that's something I learned, especially the second time around, having my second kid. The first time around, there was definitely some more like, gray area. Like it was more so like, yeah, like I'm enjoying myself, but like really, like, where's Bennett? How is he doing? What's going
Yeah,
on? Like really feeling that guilt. As to now, it's just like, okay, like this taught me a lot. It's like, he's okay. Like they're okay. They're with people that love them more than anything. They're gonna be fine. This time is for you. Like, just enjoy it. Like, try to, you're never going to fully, it's not possible as a mom. I don't think, I really don't think it's possible. But to the extent that you can, enjoy the time that you have by
yeah,
yourself because you were you before you had kids. Like, you had a life before this. And,
yeah,
it's important to find yourself back, back to that. And I think they call it like get your pink back. I don't know if that's like still a thing, but like, you know, get those attributes, those things about yourself back
yeah,
and enjoy it and not, don't feel guilty in that short period of time because we know it's not going to be a long time. You're not
no,
going to get a real, true long vacation, but the time that you have it's okay to just enjoy it and be open about enjoying it.
yeah. And the get the pink back thing is a huge. It's great, and I can't remember the girl who created it, but when I looked into it more, it's all to do with flamingos, and flamingos lose their pink when they have the babies because they put all their energy and time and effort into these babies, and they don't look after themselves. And when they're finally able to look after themselves, that's when the pink comes back, and it's
Yeah.
a great way to look at things. And the pink always comes back. It's never
Yeah.
gone forever, and the guilt from things like this is one of the leading causes of burnout in especially young mums.
Right.
It's not worth your mental health to have
Yeah.
that burnout.
Yeah, that happened to me the first time around, and I actually was diagnosed with postpartum depression with Bennett, like about 4 or 5 months after. And because I was just trying to do everything and trying to, be everything that I was, everything that they
Yeah,
expect. And you can't if you don't start doing things for yourself too. And that's something that I made sure to do right away this time around. Because I'm at that same exact mark right now where I started getting depressed with him, and I'm nowhere near that this time because
that's good.
I have something to go towards, to work towards. I have a balance. We have a routine, and I have outlets too. I have people to talk to. I was in therapy, and if I need it, I know it's there. So it's definitely it gets easier.
Yeah, and I think that's something as well. You should never be scared to ask for help, whether it's therapy or a support group online or whatever you need. You should never ever be scared to ask for help. It's like the best thing you could do. It's
Yep.
not. It doesn't mean that you're not a good mum or a good wife or a good husband or whatever, it's the greatest thing. Thank you so much. I know you've got to shoot off for work, so I am very, very grateful for your time today. Anyone still listening, thank you for being here, and until next time.
Thank you.